That was the full magazine on full auto, the lightweight one. That's pretty cool. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Novritsch Tech Dungeon, and what I have today in front of me is the SSP28, the newest pistol release that we had recently. I'm gonna prepare it for a game and I'm gonna show you everything that you need to know when you receive the package to the first game. All the things that you should check, that you should do. We will do it together, so grab a coffee and let's get started by unboxing this thing, and we will talk about the stuff that we are getting with it. Manual, obviously, quite important, keep it, check it. But then we have this little bag with a screw. On the back, it actually tells you that this one is for the Carbine Kit. More on that later. Carbine Kits and accessories. You can safely not use this one. Just keep it, store it in case you want to get a Carbine Kit one day. It comes with the pistol, but maybe down the line, it will come with the Carbine Kit. So if you don't see this bag, don't worry, it's not a mistake. It's coming with the Carbine Kit by the time you are seeing this video, but now it is in there, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Then we have the pistol itself, and of course we have a magazine for it as well. There is also an Allen key on the inside. This Allen key is for hop-up adjustment. I'm gonna leave it here because I have all the different tools that I need, so let's just not lose it. That would be it for the unboxing of the SSP28, and the first thing I want to check is the magazine. We have a magazine, it is empty on the ship because we don't want to have any gas inside, so the O-rings are actually not under pressure. What can happen over time is that the O-rings change their size because of temperature fluctuation, goes up, down, might not be exactly super tight because it's for months on a ship, so we want to check if the magazine seals. We do that with filling it with green gas, just a little bit. So I'm just gonna do it real quick, and I'm gonna listen to all the different valves if it's sealing. Perfect, sealing just like it should, but in case yours doesn't, let's go over the steps, what you should do to make it seal. It's super simple. We just need to tighten the screws that are in there. So we have a valve tool. You can also use a different tool from the toolkit. I have the valve tool, so I'm just gonna use that one. And I'm gonna check if everything is tight. This one is tight. We will open the bottom. We will check the inlet valve if it's tight. Also, if it would be leaking, you would know if it's leaking from here or from here, so that will already give you a direction. And the last one is under this screw, so I'm gonna show you in case you need to get to it. All right, don't lose any of the springs, you actually can leave it in there. And here is our screw that we just checked if it's tight. In my case, we already tried, it's not leaking, but I want to make sure that it's properly tight. And now at this point, when you do this, there will be no more leaking. So, all right, that's the first thing that you should check. Gonna put it back together and we will continue. Before you put this cap on, make sure that this piece is in there with the pin closer to the inlet valve, not the other way around. We will make a picture as an overlay, make sure it's in this orientation, so that's how it fits perfectly with this part. So we just put it in and you will see that it pops out here. That's the pin that's holding the mag base. So make sure it's there the right way around, and now we just screw it together and we are done. Last is the mag base, which clicks in place nicely, and the pin actually captures it. All right, final check. Perfect, there was no leaking in the first place, but just in case you had it. If you are not sure about which gas should you use with the SSP28, we will have it on the website for specific temperature ranges. Generally speaking, green or red gas works for most of the temperature ranges, but again, if it's super hot outside, maybe even blue gas. If it's super cold outside, obviously black gas or HPA would be the best choice. The next thing that we should do with the SSP28 is to actually fire a couple of magazines through it, because there is lubrication on the inside. If we would now clean the barrel, prepare it for the game, and then you shoot the first few rounds, it could happen that the lubrication from inside of the pistol or the magazine gets onto the bucking, and then you would have to clean the barrel again, because you would lose the hop-up effect. We want to prevent that when we go to the first game, so now it's a time to shoot 1 or 2 magazines with BBs to make sure we get it going. You know, it's fresh from the factory, was on the ship. We just want to make sure that this is all nice and set up. What I'm gonna be using for the upcoming game, actually flying to Portugal for this occasion, I'm gonna use 0.32 gram BBs, because those are the ones I can get in tracers. So I'm gonna be using also a tracer unit, which I have right here. That's why I'm using 0.32 gram BBs, because those are the heaviest tracers. You can obviously use quite a bit heavier BBs. Here I have 0.4 gram BBs, or even higher. That's where it gets a little complicated, because it depends what magazine you are using. If you are using HPA, these magazines, they are great, but they might struggle with heavier weights, such as 0.46s, for example, so the heaviest BBs. There is just not enough pressure to push such a heavy BB, and so many of them fast enough, because this is 28 rounds a second. So there it gets a little complicated, but just know that you can really use heavy BBs that will give you a lot of extra accuracy. 0.40s, 0.32s, that's the more economical variant, because they come in bags like this. So if you are not sure, please check out the page. We will definitely write proper recommendation for specific types of magazines and so on. 0.32 gram BBs, however, no problem at all. You can use those in pretty much anything. They will feed, and they are heavy enough. All right, so enough talking. Let's do a bit of shooting so we can clean the barrel. All right, there we go. That's our first magazine. One more magazine just for good measure, and we will continue. We shot 2 magazines from the SSP28. Now it's time to clean the barrel. You can either use the Novritsch maintenance kit, but I want to make this as universal as possible. So I'm gonna do with a regular cleaning rod that you often get with replicas, and a kitchen towel right here. If you watched any of these videos, you know the drill. You just cut stripes. So you first fold it 2 times, just like that. 2 times, that gives you the right thickness. You cut stripes off it, and then you put it through the cleaning rod, and you make sure that it's not reaching this part right here, because that would make it stuck. It's actually a good practice to shorten them just a little bit, so they are not too long. I have a cleaning alcohol in this bottle right here, but you can also get it in a different bottle. You can get a big bottle, small bottle. Cleaning alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, whatever you like. Recently I started using a spray bottle, because it gets rid of the problem that you dip it and then it's just everywhere. Before we get started, one note on the slide catch. When I pull the slide back, you will see it's a split slide, and now there is not really material to prevent the double-sided slide catch to rest on something. Don't force it too much up, because there is no support material here as you would normally get with other slides. That's the downside of having a split slide that is super lightweight and gives you the 28 rounds a second on full auto. So don't overdo it so you don't break anything. If you would do it, I will show you what can happen. If I really pull strongly all the way up and I let it go, it can actually overreach and it will catch, and you will not be able to pull it back down because it's just too high up. In that case, this will not help you. What you need to do is to do this. That is likely the worst thing that will happen. Now you know, just don't overextend it too much so that you cannot do this anymore. If it happens, let go like this. All right, for the cleaning, I will pull back the slide and we will run the cleaning rod from the front all the way through to the hopper bucking. All right, now I'm on the bucking, I can already feel it. And now you have two options, either pull it out right now so you don't potentially damage it on the way back, but if you are skilled enough and you get kind of lucky, you can make it, you know, face that direction, and now I'll be able to pull it backwards again. Two different ways do kind of the same thing. We can see that the barrel is quite clean, so no issues there. For good measure, I'm gonna do it one more time because I want to be extra sure that in Portugal I will have a good time with a very accurate primary. Actually, I'm gonna be using it as a primary, so it's not just a backup. I wanna be extra sure that I get all what I can from this platform. So let's clean it for the second time. All right, now the bucking provided quite some friction. Then I put a little bit too much pressure, so the slide popped back. All right, there we go. We cleaned the bucking properly. Now we have a little bit more dirt actually, which makes me wanna do it one more time. Maybe the alcohol did its job and dissolved some of the oil or gunk that's on the inside, which we don't want to stay there. So again, here we go again. All right, much better this time. That is it for the basics. Now, if you would be using it as a secondary, you are pretty much done. There is not much more you need to do. Obviously, it's a new pistol. You will want to shoot it. Feel free. Put BBs in, shoot it, set the hop up properly. On the topic of setting up the hop up, here we have a set screw in the middle. Not this one, not this one. Those hold the piece in there. We have one in the middle, and there is a plus and minus on the top, and this is how we can adjust the hop up. So you can take the Allen key from the box, or you can use a different tool. You don't need to disassemble the slide. You simply turn to the right in the direction of the plus to add hop up, meaning the BB will fly more up, or you can turn in the opposite direction. That would be to the left where the minus is, and that would decrease the hop up. You should do this ideally today when you are preparing for the game. I don't really have the range here, so I will not be able to set it up the way I want for primary rifle purposes because I just don't have the range, but it's super simple. You just go to the field, you just start adjusting the hop up. We also have an academy video for this specific thing, how to adjust the hop up with pretty much any replica, so watch that one if you are interested in that part. Now, if you are wondering about complete assembly and disassembly, again, this is not the video where I would show completely everything. You will need to take out a few screws to, get on the inside. We will have an academy video specifically for that. Complete disassembly, complete assembly. So head to the academy if that's what you need to know and you want to do something on the inside. Now, what I want to talk about is accessories and what you can do with the platform, because this one is quite special. 28 rounds a second. That makes it a primary SMG with the correct stuff on it, meaning accessories. But before we get into that, I want to show you this one. This one has been kitted out with, high sights. We have a red dot right here and also the universal holster mount. So we can put it in this universal holster that you can use with, anything else, and you can have something like this, still secondary setup. Here I have a different one with a rectangular tracer, flashlight, and another red dot solution. Here we actually can take a look at the mounting solution for the red dot plate. You can have it like this in the back, or you can take this, flip it around, and you would have the red dot in the forward position. For example, if you are running this holster, you can totally do that. If you are running a different holster, more of this enclosed style, the red dot might get in the way, so we have a reversible. You can have it here or here. That's why we did it for different types of holsters. Speaking about holsters, you need to carry the pistol somehow, right? So which holsters does it fit? With the universal mount, the universal holster fits just like you would expect. You can put anything on the pistol and it will just work because it's just open. But if you are not a fan of open universal holsters, we will have the Glock holster. This is mine. I've been using this for many years, but we have it on the website. It doesn't come scuffed like this. This one is not brand new, but still, to give you the idea of the size, actually doesn't wobble almost at all. It fits very nicely, side wobble almost non-existent, and it's actually very easy to put in and pull out. This one, great option. Or maybe you have more pistols, different pistols. This is the universal closed holster. Again, I spray painted it because this is the one I'm actually using for my TP22 and other pistols. Also fits great inside. No wobble whatsoever because this one has tensioning mechanisms on the inside, so very nice. A little bit harder to take out given the tensioning mechanisms, but works just fine. Now that would be for the holsters. We also went through some accessories. I'm gonna be using this Carbine Kit, gonna talk about that at the end. And also here we have the magazine. So this is the magazine that it comes with, which has like extended base, fits nicely, also gives you decent capacity in terms of gas and BBs. But you have different options. Here we have the super lightweight magazine, which is on average half the weight of the regular magazine. So if you are very weight conscious, you want super lightweight kit, this is definitely a good one to get. The downside of this one, because it's lightweight, it doesn't have so much thermal capacity, and as we know, when we fill them with gas, when you are shooting, the gas actually turns from liquid to gas, which will cool down the magazine. So the magazine will get progressively colder the more you shoot. And with this one, you can shoot longer because it contains more heat because it's heavier. This one will give you cool down faster, but it's super lightweight, so the choice is yours. I personally really like this one when I'm using pistols as secondary, because chances are I will not shoot that much. Then we have also this interesting option, which is the lightweight version. So we have the lightweight one, short, and we have the lightweight one, long, which is probably still lighter than the regular one. This one gives you a lot of gas capacity, a lot of BB capacity. You can see it goes all the way down. But if you plan to shoot really a lot, this one will cool down as well, faster than the heavier counterpart. Check it out on the website, make the call. They have pros and they have cons. If you ask me personally, I really like the lightweight ones, but I don't shoot a bunch, so. If you do though, now we are coming to the part, and that is HPA. Here we have the HPA adapter, and here we have the magazine for the adapter, and that is a completely different ballpark, because that gives you no cooldown whatsoever, because HPA is just compressed air, so you don't have to deal with too cold magazines, gas, and it also gives you a ridiculous capacity when it comes to BBs. And that is exactly what I'm about to do in Portugal. So let me put this in a Carbine Kit and I will be right back. I'm not gonna go through the whole process when it comes to Carbine Kits. The only thing you need to know is this screw, which we already covered. There will be a dedicated video on how to turn this into a carbine. So let's do that. All right, here we go. This is the SSP28 in an SSP18 Carbine Kit. It fits great, and most importantly, why I'm actually doing this is that I can take you guys along, because I am able to put a proper scope camera on a Carbine Kit. I would totally not mind playing with, something like this, super lightweight, I can holster it anytime, not much to carry around, but mounting cameras on just a pistol is a pain in the ass. So this is the best solution I could come up with. And honestly, if I put HPA in it, this is kind of not a bad primary for being a pistol. I will leave that up to you guys. You will see the footage. We have a tracer. I'm gonna be shooting 0.32 gram tracer BBs for the most part. Depends on the field. I'm not really sure what kind of field it will be, but I was told it's rather dark. So if it's dark, I'm gonna use 32s. If it's gonna be more of outdoor or something, I'm gonna use something like 0.40s or maybe even 4.6s. Again, that depends on the magazines and how well those will feed, because 0.46s, that's a really heavy BB, but this pistol can totally do it. Of course, with the Carbine Kit, you also get the universal holster adapter. So when I said that you can easily holster a pistol, well, doesn't really matter. You can also holster this when you have the universal one. This is it. I'm really looking forward to it. because the 28 rounds a second, that's gonna be fun. I just couldn't help myself. I really want to do this. So I got myself HPA and it's on full auto. Let's try. 28 rounds a second. Oh boy, this is gonna be so much fun. Now let's pack everything and let's ship it to Portugal, shall we? Let's go. And I'm only shooting 0.3 gram tracers. This can do 0.46s. So the accuracy would be another level with heavier BBs. But this is already so much fun. Oh. Ah, sorry, that was me. We are together. Do I go or you go?
No one does.
I will go. Just stay. My bad.
No problem.
I'll go instead of you. Yes, we would get hit. Walking, right side. Minus. I think I got a third one. It's clear now. Yeah, it's clear. Minus.
He's dead.
Okay.